and welcome to Quad Radio as we roll into a fresh new season, 2018, and a lot of big things going on. Changes, and change seems to be the big thing for 2018 here, and one of the big changes coming up, again, is Root River, and Root River is a part of our ATV Motocross Championship Series, and they have been a huge and monumental part, and will continue to be so in the future as well, and a lot of changes have been taking place as we welcome our, I guess would be team manager Troy Chamelin to the show with us here, and Troy, how's things going, buddy?
Everything's great, Rodney. How you been?
Been great. Just got wrapped up with the first GNCC of the season, and I'm pretty pumped up for what ATV Motocross is going to hold. We're getting ready to head to Daytona myself here in just a few days. Get ready for the next GNCC and, of course, the Daytona ATV Supercross. And it's hard to believe, man. I mean, I know myself, you know, and we were talking about these things back at the banquet, man, and in the writers' meeting. It seems like since then, it's been full steam ahead, and even though it seemed like everything was quiet for so long, so much has been going on in this offseason, and Root River has really had a lot of different things going on for them.
It really has. We started the year off strong. The end of last year, we started on the 2018 season pretty quick. We came out of the gate hitting heavy and hard. We knew where we wanted to be. We wanted to make some sponsor changes. Wanted to make some equipment changes, and we weren't really taking no for an answer. We contacted the people we wanted to contact, and we just hounded till we got what we wanted. And fortunately, it worked out in the end for us. Towards the very end, we had a couple difficulties with getting some parts, just last-minute stuff that we waited a little too long to order, and you know, naturally get in line, wait your turn.
Yeah,
everything's coming together. Doug Schultz is back as our pro mechanic. Josh Hopperman's mechanic last year is now Dylan's mechanic. They finished up his pro quad on Saturday and getting ready to head south for some testing on it.
Wow. So what has the winter been like for the team? Well, first and foremost, I guess let's talk a little bit. I know a few years ago, just a couple of years ago, you know, Root River was one of the biggest presence in the pits. It seemed like everybody out there was riding a Root River on the Root River team, and, you know, it was dominating. I mean, it was a huge team. And then last year there were a lot of changes. Some, you might call it scaling back, but I think I just call it changes, to be honest with you, because I don't think there was a lot of scaling back in the program in the big picture when it was all said and done. But in reality, it looked a little different. There wasn't as many folks, I guess you could say, that were Root River under the tent, so to speak. But that didn't change what was going on, really, I don't think, behind the scenes as far as what you guys were up to.
That's correct. Everything was up there. The end of the year last year, we just decided we were going to keep a few people under our tent and get rid of a couple of the satellite riders and really dial back. I mean, Rich has his hands in everything. He's such a generous man. He hates to say no, but at times you just got to reel in stuff a little bit closer and keep it to home. We put a little more into our own program. Aaron Salinas, who was a satellite rider last year, is under the tent this year. We have Tyler Schwab, who was just pretty much coming into the national scene last year, but great kid, great family, heart of gold. We're going to put him out there on a full bike. And we also crossed series a little bit, and we brought Araya Richardson in the TT series. So she's going to be running 2 series in the Midwest, all TTs, under Root River tent and colors, and happy to have her. And we also picked up one D6, partially sponsored satellite rider, who is Brianna Richardson. So, you know, the Ultimate Series in D6 is really picking up, and we're trying to promote getting some women back in the sport. So you might even see more of that coming.
That's awesome, and we have seen a resurgence of that, I think, over the last few years, a handful of years. Through the youth ranks, we're starting to see a lot of those girls graduate and starting to move up into the ranks. And I think we've probably got, honestly, in my opinion, since I've been around, the healthiest and deepest pool of talent of girls and women's rider that I think the ATV motocross has seen in its entire history. And I may be going out a little bit on a limb there. I know we had some really good talent, but I don't know that the talent pool was as deep, quite possibly, as what it may be right now.
Correct. I think we have some competition there in the women's classes for going, you know, more front runners. You don't just have the Natalies out front. You know, it's, you know, Michelle was great. Megan came in, and Megan was great. You know, they're both unreplaceable in our sport. You know, as far as you ask me, I'm sure we'll still see Megan in some of our races here and there. But there's quite a few girls out there that could certainly win. not just top 2 or 3.
Yeah, and that's what's going to be interesting. So you're talking a little bit about crossing series there. You're crossing with promotion. You're actually sponsoring some riders in other series. Does that mean that Root River will be the core team that is the national ATVMX team? Are you guys going to be crossing over series and visiting other series and promotion of the sport itself throughout the course of this upcoming season?
We are. Araya is going to hit as many of our events as she can, and we're going to do the same for her. I know Dylan, for one, is excited to get on a TT bike to see what he can do, just to play around at a couple events. He'll be riding probably her bright pink practice quad, but he's good with that. It's fitting.
So Dylan's going to be doing some TT. Is Logan going to be doing any TTing, or what's going on there?
He doesn't seem to have a whole lot of interest. Logan's passed, and he's been down and out health-wise here for the last couple months, so we're trying to get him ready, hopefully, to hit south of the border. He won't be making Daytona, but south of the border.
Okay, now, I wasn't aware of that. I know a few seasons ago, we had the issue with the stomach, and, I mean, in reality, a crash at High Point probably saved his life, and, he came back from that miraculously a beast, so to speak.
Exactly.
And so what's gone on in the last few months?
Just he went to a college in Florida State, finished his first semester. Towards the end of the first semester, he started going downhill health-wise a little bit. So he's been in and out of the hospital. He lost 25 pounds here in the last few months. So he's just not safe to put on the track yet.
Right. And now,
his heart's in it, his mind's in it, but his body's just not ready to go yet.
Right. Now, is this related to his previous issues?
It is, yes.
Oh, man. Well, hopefully, it sounds like you guys must have it back under control, and hopefully everything's going to be okay in that department. And I do look forward to seeing him back on the racetrack, because he is a beast on the track, that is for sure.
Yeah, he certainly has the heart of gold to get it out front there. We just got to get him to hold on and stay there.
For sure.
Last year, Brogan was a beast himself, and those two were great to watch battling when they were out there.
They most certainly were. So a lot of big changes for Root River. And how many riders will you have under the tent, per se, this year at the ATV Motocross Nationals?
We're going to have a total of 5 MX riders and Araya at the Nationals. We're going to have Alex Gillette, who is also in automotive trade school for his future, so we won't see him at every round. We're going to hope to have him there as many as we can. 2019, he's planning on a full season. We'll have Dylan running Pro Class. Logan will be out there in Production B and 4-Stroke B when he's ready to come back. Aaron Salinas is going to run multiple classes, and Tyler Schwab is going to run multiple classes.
Wow, sounds like you got a solid team there. So now, I guess Aaron, he's going to be in the youth ranks, I guess.
Correct. Yeah, both Aaron and Tyler, they're going to both run Schoolboy Junior together, and Aaron is going to run Senior as well, and Tyler's going to have a secondary class, which we're a little undecided on right now.
Right, I totally get you. Well, that's cool. It sounds like you got a good, solid team and everything. As I look down through here, one of the big things that I know Root River was pumping up there, I guess late last fall, coming into the winter, was the what was that? The Root River program, I guess, is what you guys were calling that, where you were
Ride with Root River.
Yeah, the Ride with Root River. That yeah. I got to tell you, when I heard about that, I thought that's a pretty doggone good idea. I never did really get all the details. I mean, I did, but I hadn't had the details, and I was jumping up and down thinking it was a great idea. And then whenever I found out all the details, I thought, man, you guys have really crossed all the T's and dotted all the I's. You thought this whole program through, and I think it's a great way to introduce people in and give them opportunity to come out and experience things that maybe they haven't had the opportunity or have not felt a little inferior about coming, and maybe coming with you guys, they'll feel a little bit better that first step in.
That's correct, and that was our whole plan. Take somebody that's not typically a national racer, maybe a good local racer, and maybe never raced at all. Bring them to a national event and give them the experience that we've been fortunate enough to have. You're right, it can be very overwhelming. I know it was for us for a couple years, the people just coming onto our team. It certainly is for them, and it's just hard to believe that there's people out there generous enough to do what they do for us, and we'd like to share that. So what we did is we came up with a program. Any non-regular national rider from B class down could register for our event. What they did is they just sent us an email, and they promoted 3 of our sponsors that were associated with the race that they wanted to go to. We put it all in an electronic drawing, and we draw them every other Thursday. We began a couple weeks ago. So now we have 3 people selected. What these kids are going to do is we'll pay their entry to the track, we'll pay their class fee, and they become part of our team for the weekend. They're welcome to pit with us, eat with us, stay with us, come under the tent. Anything we have going on, festivities we're doing, any giveaways we have, any shirts, they're welcome to it. They're there to be one of us.
That's a great experience. If anybody has the opportunity to do that's going to be a great experience for them, because, I mean, even if they don't make a lap on the racetrack, just the experience in the pits with Root River, I think, is going to be, it'll be enough to make you want to keep coming back for more before you even hit the racetrack. I think
if
that's
they can
awesome.
Put up with us that long.
I think most people that have the mindset to come to the racetrack will be able to put up with you guys and have a lot of fun with you guys. Now, you'd mentioned new sponsors and stuff, that you changed some sponsors. Let's talk a little bit about that.
We did. We still naturally have our hardcore sponsors, Dee and Michelle from Rage ATV. We're not going anywhere without them. Same Tate Harmon from Hoosier Tires. Hoosier's backing us huge this year, which is great. And of course, we have Ernie and Charlene from FTR Power Sports. We wouldn't go anywhere without them, as well as Jim and Susie from MotoWaz, Yo Shimera and Jason from Fort Worth Carbon. Rath Racing, Darryl has been so good to us throughout the years. We'd never consider changing his products. Or JB Racing, Jody and Debbie, they're icons in our sport, and we're lucky to have them. We're sticking with Recluse. We're sticking with RPM Dominator. Of course, Pepsi with Rich. We're not going to let Pepsi go anywhere. Amped Apparel's on board a little stronger. Doug Schultz, our mechanic, Doug opened up his own suspension shop this year, and he will be at all the nationals, providing whatever he needs to provide service-wise other than Dylan. So anybody needs their MotoWaz rebuilt, he's there on site, factory supported.
That's awesome.
DP Brakes, Larry Mills has been very good to us with Langster Honda again. The Crescent Wine and Spirits, Renthal, DWT Wheels, Excel Racing, we're happy to have them back again this year, and Garnet. And then to get into the new ones. JSR came on very big this year with doing our nets, and they just look fabulous. Doug Schultz again, he was there before, but now he's there as Doug Schultz Motorsports and Doug. BCC skid plates. Frankie was a decent part of our program last year. This year he's all out. So great skid plates, great mud guards, just excellent products. We picked up a powder coater here in Pennsylvania, 717 Coatings. Matt has been doing a fabulous job for us. Great turnaround time. Super good products. High Grade Construction, our local construction company, has been supporting us. One of our big goals this year was Quaker Steak and Lube. It's a chain here on the East Coast. What they actually did for us was started a night that they were going to make Root River Night. And I said, well, that's kind of be boring sitting around looking at the same 5 four-wheelers once a month at all locations, so why don't we do an off-road night? So we started inviting the general public in with whatever they have, whether it be race quads, dirt bikes, dune buggies, sprint cars, and it's been turning out pretty good. So we have 2 locations here in South Central PA that we're going to have one time a month, and we're going to have an off-road night, and it all supports Root River and the riders.
That's great.
We picked up Moto Money signs the end of last year, and he's absolutely great with any of our giveaways. He's always making signs. He makes us some cool stuff. We got Rich one last year for end of the year gift for our owner. We picked up Ori grips. Love to have them. Canvas MX. Chuck has been huge with our gear. It's going to be a kind of a knockdown gear. That was, everybody's a little scared leaving Fly because Fly's been our staple, but we have completely custom gear this year, so it's pretty wild to look at. We haven't released any of it to anything but our team members, so have to wait to Daytona and south of the border till we introduce that. We went with Deft Family gloves, very comfortable gloves, easy fit, a couple different styles they make, and they're just excellent to work with. Sunstar sprockets and chain racing. Kurt there is going to be pretty much a team photographer, covering Araya most of the time, and us at a couple events. And then Precision.
talk a little bit more about Root River. And by the way, that's a great sponsorship program you guys got, a good support program. I like those out of the industry guys that you got. And I was talking with somebody, just by the way, Jansen Motorsports. I got a message from them, and I'm going to get them on soon. They told me that they have, I think, like 80 or 90% of the sponsors that they have are outside the industry type sponsors. So it's good to see that teams are starting to reach out like that and starting to get the support from outside the industry. I think that's pretty cool.
It really is. It's the only way we're going to grow our sport. Fortunately, we have Hoosier, and they're just coming back into the industry. They keep giving us tires to test. They're going to get bigger and bolder as we go, and they're not planning on backing out like some of the tire people. As a matter of fact, a couple of the events this year, you're going to see a big Purple Horror in our pits. So we're pretty excited about that.
That's awesome to hear, man. Glad you guys have got some great support like that. Now, Rich Gillette, team owner. Let's talk a little bit about Rich. Rich is just kind of pulled back. Things have changed for him. He hasn't been around the pits as much, and will we see him as much in the coming year as well?
I don't know if you're going to see him as much, but you're going to see him quite often. He was just I wouldn't say overwhelmed, but he had I certainly see where he comes from with his doorbell's always ringing. His phone's always ringing. His email's always going off. His doorbell's always going.
He just forwards everything to you now, don't he?
He does. And I'm great with that. I try to intercept it before he even sees it. He has his regular jobs. He's a working man as well. He doesn't just sit around and watch TV. He's always on the go. He's got multiple businesses. So he has it coming from every direction. So the least I could do was try to take as much of this off his plate as possible.
Well, I think you're doing a great job, and I like the idea that you're reaching outside the box and trying to do some different things and trying to introduce people to new people to the sport, to the series, the nationals, and to the sport in general. I think is kind of your goal and your subject and object rather. And that brings me to another subject that I think a lot about, and I think this is where you guys are kind of leaning towards this, and I love it because you're helping the D6 rider, you're also helping the TT rider and everything, but the grassroots of racing itself. I mean, you are a big part of D6, or I know you guys do a lot of support up there in D6 and that Ultimate Quad Challenge series they got going on up there, and that's just one of many that I'm starting to notice. I mean, if you look on quadradio.net, I've got a lot of different schedules, and I'm going to keep updating that and try to get a little bit further out. Right now I'm through March, but we'll get into April, May, and give you an idea of what you got to look forward to. If you want your schedule up, be sure and give me an email, Rodney at quadradio.net, and we'll get your schedule up. But, I'm starting to notice that grassroots racing is out there, and it's teams like yours, and I think all of the riders that race the nationals, they got to remember that we need to focus not as much on the local stuff, if not more than we do the national stuff, because if we don't do the local stuff, we're not going to have the national stuff someday.
If you don't water the seeds, the corn's not going to grow.
Amen.
That's what it all comes down to. And yes, we are very big. We brought the Hoosier contingency program into the district series, so that worked out very well last year. You see more and more Hoosiers hitting the track there, and they're not scared to give tires to the people that deserve it, and it's a great thing.
And are you starting to see some growth in things in the racing itself? You starting to see more entries and stuff over the last couple of years?
We are, yes, and Rob and Michelle, they've been doing a great job. This 2018 schedule coming up is 100% based around the National Series, so it gives Dylan the opportunity to run both series, which is great. He did last year as well, except for one race because they went out to Supercross in Vegas and had a good time. But nothing crosses. It's a great series. It's great tracks. It's very spaced. So, I think you're going to see the series grow a lot this year.
I think so. I think so as well. And not only that series, I think we're going to see a lot of these series, these regional and local series start to grow. And I think that we should get out there in full support of those if we're passing through the area. Just be aware of where the races are. Try to stop by and say, hey, let the folks know that, they've got something to look forward to other than just, maybe chasing Johnny across the county or 2 counties over or something, a local race. There's something bigger out there for ATV racing, and we want to let folks know that. And want them to be a part of it. And more importantly, I just want to see the sport grow and then bring more people at the local level, because that's going to trickle up eventually.
Correct. And William from EMF Tracks Designs, he's been wholeheartedly this year. Exactly. Long live quad. He was pretty much the organizer of getting everybody involved with the new MX versus ATV game.
Let's talk a little bit about that. We haven't even hit on that. Talk about that.
So it's the new game coming out. Launches, I believe, the 27th of next month. The entire Root River team is going to be in it. I actually had the ability to reach out to a couple local riders in the District 6 series and one ATV rider. They're going to be in it. You'll see a couple other, I don't want to say no name, but people that not everybody knows that are going to be in it. Some people aren't happy about that because it's not the top pros out there, but we need to grow this sport, and the way to do it is you get one kid in there that has 100 friends that buy a video game and get interested in racing, and multiply that by 50, and it's great.
Hey, I see that concept. I mean, I from one standpoint, I can look at it and say, why don't we have, and maybe they do, but the Joel Hetricks and the Chad Wienans and the Thomas Browns and the Jeffrey Rastrellis and the Janusas and the Tremel, well, they got the Tremellans on there.
You're going to see some of them out there, there's no doubt.
Yeah.
I'm not at liberty to say who all is going to be in it, but I'm fortunate to say we're in it, and we got to bring our sponsors along, so it's great for them as well. It gives them reason to want to be out there.
That's awesome. But I also like the concept that you're thinking, put somebody that may not be a big name but's got a lot of friends to introduce new people to the sport. That's good. That's good marketing idea and good thinking about the sport. So kudos to you, buddy. So good.
Thank you.
And I guess with that, so that's next March that we'll be able. Now I got to think that you guys are going to have a TV set up so I can play it whenever it comes out, right?
I'm sure we probably will. There'll be a lot of copies floating around our tent.
Awesome, man. Sounds good. Anything else that we need to talk about tonight, Troy, other than the pronunciation of your guys' last name? Why? How come nobody can get that? I think I got that right off the bat. That was one of the easy ones for me, man.
I don't know. We get it all different ways. It's a tree with a melon on it, and you got it.
Tree melon, yeah. So, all righty, Troy, tell the boys I said hey, tell the team I said hey, and good luck to you all. And I hope the best for the team, and I hope that everything that you guys have planned works out to bigger and better things than you ever had hoped for. And, it only means good things for the sport.
Starting today, we were talking about 2019, so that's a good sign for us.
It most certainly is. I like the sounds of that. We haven't even seen the first gate drop on 2018 yet. That's good news. That's good
Doug
news.
And I had a nice conversation. Rich and I brought it up, so I think we're good and full strong for next year. We're going to start early and be ready, and who knows, maybe we can all go to Jamaica in January or something.
Well, I hope I'm part of that
That'd be fun, wouldn't it?
It would. All right. Well, I'll let you go. Any parting shots, anything else that you want to say?
Thank you so much to all of our sponsors, all of our fans, all of our families that enable their kids to do this. I put some pretty strict guidelines to our younger riders as to what they had to do in life and in school to be part of Root River and stay part of Root River, and it takes the whole family to do that. I can't say it enough just how proud we are of our riders. I want the Root River riders out there to be the ones that if you need a quad to beat them throughout the year and they have a practice quad, we give it to you.
That sounds great. I love the sounds of that. Sounds like you're out to grow the sport, no doubt about it. I'm out to help you out every way that I can. That's Troy Tremelin from Root River Racing. I'm Rodney Tomlin. This is Quad Radio.